Since 1973, over 18 million black babies have been aborted. Black Lives Matter, jump on that train. No, they won't jump on that train. They won't jump on the train. You're going to treat me like this. If you break the law, they're going to treat you the way it's supposed to be done. And if you notice, everyone that's been shot was struggling with the officers. You asked for it. You asked for it. Well, they need to fall back on their training. No, you need to tell people when the cop tells you sit down and shut up, you sit down and shut up. Your bad culture don't mean us to change nothing. You just act right, we wouldn't be involved with you. I'm not being other people, I'm being serious. Your defiance is what's bringing all this on. Well, preacher, how do you know they're defiant? I've seen the videos. I watch them shoot people on the streets in Chicago. They got videos everywhere of it. How many got killed in Oakland? How many got killed in Atlanta? How many got killed in Baltimore? St. Louis, Memphis? Have a weekend. Some of them's up high already to 120 people killed this year. There's a problem. The problem is we're being judged right now. Our forefathers understood that. So they based everything in our Constitution on this Bible. Our Constitution is what, 8 pages long? Obamacare was 1,600. You got a problem with that? I got a lot of problem with that. I ain't reading 1,600 pages. Not happening. Not happening. I can read 8. That's all our forefathers needed. Because if you obey this Bible, you won't have no problem getting along with our Constitution. You only have a problem with our Constitution when you don't obey the Bible. It's that simple. I'm waiting for them to find out and rule that the Constitution is unconstitutional. Where are you getting at, preacher? We believe that all men are what? Wait a minute. Does that mean there's a creator? So does that teach there is a God? Then you know they're going to jump on that bandwagon. Oh, we got to get the Constitution out of school. Some child may read it and actually believe there's a God. I'm being callous and I shouldn't. But I want to be there when they stand before God. I want to be there. You've laughed and mocked at us. You threatened us. You've done everything you're going to do. Listen to me. Payday is coming. What does he say in Amos? Prepare to meet thy God. Payday is coming. Let me give you 3 thoughts out of verse 17 through verse number 20. First thing that I want you to see, the effects, domination, if you will, the effects of a forgetful nation. You know, our government has been completely revamped. For the last 3 generations, what you're seeing on the streets has been taught in the school. Yeah, that's what they've been taught. These kids are programmed, and colleges are worse. They program these children and tell them what they're doing is right. You show me where God ever blessed anybody for burning a cop car. Show me where God ever blessed anybody for busting a window. I hope everybody that steals something, I hope it blows up on them. You ain't in the world but a bunch of thugs. Cowardly thieves is all you are. Kill a 75-year-old retired cop for protecting a business. Hello. These kids have been programmed. They've been taught socialism and communism in school. And now they're acting it out. People, we got to understand, God's not in this at all, but the devil's the one behind it. And they're his pawns doing exactly what he wants them to do. I dare them to get down on their knees and ask God to bless them while they're doing it. Preacher, you're just being mean. Yeah. It's about normal for me. I'm really being polite for what I really want to say. We forgot God, and our children have forgotten rules. Am I right or wrong? Well, preacher, I don't want to go to a church where politics is talked about. Why not? Because at verse number 17, in all nations that forget God, we have an obligation to speak on this. That's what I'm telling you today. Our preacher would never make a political statement in the pulpit. I got one word for that man. Coward. Coward. Why? Because we're under an obligation to God. Preachers are the ones going to stand before God and give an account for a lot of this junk because they won't preach against it. You know, we in a mess. My forefathers felt led after they got ran out of every country. They came to this country to serve God. They landed on Plymouth Rock. They got off the ship with a Bible in one arm and a flintlock rifle in the other. And we became the nation from that. People, I'm here to tell you right now, I'm not proud of everything in our country's history. But you know what? We still got the greatest history has ever been. Look how many times God snatched America out at the bleak of destruction. Let me ask you a couple of things real quick. What was the big event in the 1930s? 1929, when it actually happened. What is it? Great Depression. What immediately followed the Great Depression? The Dust Bowl. Two massive events within a decade period. Look at all the economy and all the jobs that were lost in the Great Depression. Then you look at all the food that was destroyed in the Dust Bowl. People, we got to understand, even through that, God bless this great nation that we can fight Japan and Germany in World War II and win. God's been so good to this country. But we forget that. We forget that. We don't want to talk about that. Why not? If we forget how good God has been to our country, what are we going to do? We're going to start finding excuses why we are the way we are. It's where we are. Some people call it victims. I'm a victim of a situation. How? How does that apply to you? Since you have no idea what a slave looked like, nor did. Most people I know that's crying the loudest about slavery don't even have a full-time job. You know I'm telling the truth. Because people that have a full-time job, they're too busy making an income. They're succeeding. Well, the whiny babies are failing. I love our history. It needs to be taught. Our children need to know how many times God blessed us. Why we are where we are. What we did for the world. Now, I can't talk about that. Children may actually like our country. They may actually want to grow up and do something. We're in a mess, people. A couple of things in this point. Our forefathers, our current day leaders, if you will. Number one, they're ruling as if there's no one to answer to. You know, they don't ever get down and pray before they make a decision. I can prove it to you. Abortion never would have been brought into America if they prayed about it. Prayer never would have been kicked out of school if they prayed about it. The Bible wouldn't get kicked out of school if they would. And this is what I don't understand. The Bible and prayer got kicked out in the 1960s, right or wrong. Now, do you know when the phrase under God was added to the pledge? 1954. How in a decade later do you take the Bible out of school when the same Supreme Court justice said 10 years earlier they added the phrase under God and said it was right to be added? And 10 years later you can't have a Bible in school. Anybody get that? See, they rule as if there's nobody to answer to. They're like Ahab and Jezebel. They think they can do what they want to. Guess what happened? As it is appointed in men once to die, and after that the judgment. They both had to meet God. Ahab had to meet God. Jezebel had to meet God. Bad payday. Don't want to be there. Because they killed the prophets of God. Hello. That's what they're doing. People, our rulers today, act as if there is no God. There's no one to answer to. There's no one to think about. They act as if we can regulate the world. You know, it's like right now, I was listening to them talk the other day about alternative energy. And we're just going to will this to happen. Hello, I've willed a lot of things in my life, hoping it would happen, and guess what most of them did? How many of y'all believe about 99.9% didn't happen? You're pretty close. I'm not going to say I'm 100% wrong, but I will say that I'm at least 99% wrong, okay? How many of y'all feel that way? Man, I'm going to will this to happen. Didn't see that coming. Why? Because you don't will nothing to happen. There has to be a plan. A program, a plan, a pattern, something we can work with. I've seen a few patterns lately. And they all come from people that have never met God. We need an awakening. Notice in verse 16, we need to see this God. The Lord is known by the judgments which he executeth. The wicked is snared in the work of his own hands. God is known by what? The judgment he executes. Why is America in so much trouble? There you go. Somebody's got to pay for all these babies that have been aborted. All these murderers we've let live on death row. Read Genesis 9, people. God's not against capital punishment. He's for it. All these poster children they hold up as great heroes that withstood law enforcement. They got a rap sheet longer than I am tall. Good Sunday school teachers. Good people. Didn't deserve this. It's okay that he shot 4 people, but he didn't deserve it. You know what I told him one day? You don't think I'm mean, and I am. If I saw somebody shooting people right now, you know what I do? I would not. Before all this came up, I'd pulled out my gun and dealt with it. You know what I'd do now? I'd call the mayor of the town. Said, you in the city council got a problem. Y'all need to get down here. Since y'all know how to do your job, y'all come down here and you fix it. By the way, this guy's already killed 4 people. Boom, make it 5 people. Preacher, that's wrong. No, it's not. If you're going to tell them what they can't do, get your tails down there and solve it. Hello? Since you know how to handle it, get in there. There's bullets in there. Hey, you keep telling us we can't handle it, get down there. Handle it. How many of y'all believe they'd go? Not near one of them cowards would go. Cowards. Cowards. They regulate as if God doesn't exist. Notice they regulate to the point that they feel when we elect them, they now have power to do whatever they want, almost like an emperor. If you don't believe me, the Obamas use that quite well. How many times did they go on family vacation that cost us millions of dollars?